A very good afternoon to you and welcome to your lunchtime news. Let's take a look at your headlines. President to call on His Holiness Pope Francis today. Indictments filed against Basil Rajapaksa and RK Ranawaka for the alleged misuse of money. Former chairman of the SEC Nalka Godaheva and 2 others further remanded. 19 women elected in municipal council election in Saudi Arabia. Moving on to your first story, President Maithripala Sirisena, who undertook an official tour to the Vatican, is scheduled to call on His Holiness Pope Francis today. The President and his delegation, who left for Rome yesterday, arrived at the Fiumicino airport last night.
The President and the First Lady were warmly welcomed by the Chief Protocol of Vatican, Jose Betancourt, and Sri Lanka Ambassador in Italy, Daya Palpola. A group of Sri Lankans in Italy also was present there to welcome the President and the First Lady, following which the President held cordial discussions with the group. The President's media unit said that President Sirisena is scheduled to meet His Holiness Pope Francis at the San Damaso Park today.
An indictment has been filed against former Minister Basil Rajapaksa and former Director General of the Divinaguma Department, RK Ranawaka. The indictment was filed by the Attorney General at the Colombo High Court today over the charges of criminal misappropriation. Former chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Nalka Godaheva, and 2 others have been further remanded until the 23rd of December. The order was issued by Colombo Fort Magistrate Priyantha Liyanage following the rejection of their bail application. The former chairman of the SEC and 2 others were arrested by the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division over a financial fraud worth 5 million rupees, which is alleged to have taken place at the Securities and Exchange Commission in August 2013. Speaking at a public meeting in Sandungama, Tissamaharama yesterday, Minister Sajjit Premadasa expressed the following views.
Is it fair that a strike action is to be launched when the government has been in power for less than 24 months? If such strike actions were to take place under the previous government, how many would be abducted by white vans? How many disappearances would there be? How many journalists would be killed? Because of this, no one tried to launch any strike actions under the previous government. It is a democratic right to stage strike actions, protest, meetings, present their ideas and criticize. But we need to think of it in a reasonable and fair manner. So is it reasonable or fair that strike actions are launched within a limited time frame? In my opinion, the government deserves a minimum of 2 years to show what they are capable of. Because not even 6 months have passed. I believe it is unfair to plan a series of such strike actions like this.
Let's now take a look at some of the views expressed on the 2016 budget by the opposition.
There is a lot of displeasure expressed by the parents when they enter the school premises to receive the uniform material. Even the students are frustrated. After saying that paddy will be sold for 50 rupees and instead is being sold for 37 rupees, the farmers start showing their displeasure. Although they said that they will add 10,000 rupees to the wages of the state sector, not a single cent has been added to their basic salary. All of us, big or small, paid just 131 rupees for the dollar. In 2012, the dollar was trading at 127 rupees. And in 2014, the dollar was trading at 130 rupees. And now, it is trading at 146 rupees. The final budget debate is on the 19th. No matter what they do to prevent us from voting against the budget, even if we are taken to the FCID or bribery commission, we will show our opposition on the 19th. You will have to pay a sum of 20,000 rupees to the bank if you intend to withdraw a sum of 2 million rupees and a further 90,000 rupees if you intend to withdraw a sum of 3 million rupees. But the foreign investors can invest in a land tax-free, and the ones who want a luxury car can also buy a car tax-free. Taxes are slapped on the ordinary and taxes are lifted to facilitate the elite.
Women deserve the same respect and protection as the rest of the society receives. The island-wide campaign titled Empower the Woman, which was launched for this very cause, entered its 12th day today. This campaign, which is organized by Newsfirst, Sirasa and Shakti, aimed at empowering women with equality and security, is carried out together with the assistance of the Sri Lanka Police, Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government, District Secretariats and Divisional Secretariats. One of the two teams of the Empower the Woman program, which commenced from both the north and south, commenced its journey from Ratnapura today. The campaign commenced at 9 this morning from the clock tower in Ratnapura. Several women who participated in this program were educated on the cause. The other team, which commenced their journey from the north, commenced today's leg of the campaign in the town of Putlam. Women who gathered at the city's main bus stand, where the program kicked off at 9 this morning, were given a platform to put forward their issues and concerns. U.S. Under-Secretary of State Political Affairs Thomas Shannon will arrive in Sri Lanka today on a two-day official visit. He will be accompanied by the Deputy Assistant Secretary for South Asia, Manpreet Singh Anand. Ambassador Shannon will meet with senior government and parliamentary leaders, business leaders and civil society, as well as tour USAID-funded livelihoods project in the Eastern Province. During his visit, Ambassador Shannon will reaffirm U.S. support for Sri Lanka's reform agenda and explore greater cooperation in development, security, economic growth and regional connectivity, the U.S. Embassy in Colombo said. Shannon was earlier Counselor of the U.S. State Department. He had served briefly as Senior Advisor to the U.S. Secretary of State and served as the United States Ambassador to Brazil for nearly 4 years. Moving back to one of our local stories, Co-Chairman of the National Trade Unions Front, Saman Ratnapriya, expressed these views with regard to the trade union action scheduled for tomorrow.
We have a responsibility when it comes to the students. My daughter is also inside a room studying because she will be sitting for her O-levels maths paper tomorrow. But more than us, the government shares a bigger responsibility. We request the government to do is to at least postpone the proposed pensioner scheme. If the government is taking measures to put these students in a crisis without attending to this grievance, then we are ought to question the government's conduct. Saman Ratnapriya highlighted that the objective of the trade union action is to bring about amendments to the proposed recommendations through the budget. What is the government expecting after giving out the cash to the traders? Now that is something we need answers to. Are these deals or mere recommendations presented in good faith? These are not recommendations presented in good faith. What is done to destabilize state banks is not a recommendation that is presented for the greater good. Thereafter, we had to decide to reiterate our stance to stage the trade union action. We spoke to the trade union associations of the BOC and around 150 trade unions are rallying with us. We had reached a unanimous decision to go ahead with the trade union action on the 15th of this month. Therefore, according to the decision made, the railway service of the country will come to a halt starting at 12 midnight on the 14th, and also the bus services will come to a halt as well. The health services, namely the nurses union, will stage strike at 7 am on the 15th, while all other services including posts will stage their strike action starting at 8 am on the 15th. The public and private sector banks will also launch a trade union action. 12,000 technicians in the country will also engage in the trade union action.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is to make a special statement in Parliament today regarding the trade union action, which is scheduled to be launched by several unions. And with that, we wrap up your lunchtime Prime News. Join us again at 1:55 for more of the latest. I'm Aisha Repinto for News First.